Hey everyone, good to see you out there. We are at halftime in Tuscaloosa, and Texas leads Alabama 13-6. Ugly, ugly game if you love offense, if you love passing offense, especially if you like good passers. We've got arguably one, but certainly not the other. Thought we'd pop in, talk a little Texas Bama and everything else going on this evening, week 2. And remind everyone that we'll be back after all the games. We'll be back about 11 o'clock Eastern time, and we'll talk college football with you and take your calls as it will be our big weekend wrap-up show. All right. Again, Bama leads or is trailing 13-6. Jalen Milroe threw that bad interception, and Texas took it right down the field. Now, Bama held inside the 5-yard line, much of that due to Xavier Worthy dropping a touchdown pass. So that ball should have been caught by Xavier Worthy on a 3rd down right at the goal line. But Bama held, and Bama has continued to hold over and over and over and over. But this Bama offense, boy, not looking good. Jalen Milroe, he does get loose. Fortunately for Texas, he only gets loose about 1 time per drive. Man, he is fast. He's elusive. He's a strong guy. But through the interception, through some other bad passes, they could have been picked off. Texas probably should have scored a touchdown. Their final score of the half that put them up 13-3. Kool-Aid McKinstry came a long way to break up a pass and really didn't break it up. I think he just really was there. His presence caused the receiver, I think that was Jatavian Sanders possibly, or Jordan Whittington, to drop the ball down at the goal line. So we got an ugly game in Tuscaloosa, but it's a hard-fought game. And Texas, this speaks to the job that they've done in recruiting, and recruiting's not the end of it. So they recruited like they always do, but they've obviously developed, and they have put together a nice game plan on defense, for one thing. And Jalen Milroe didn't hit a meaningful pass until late in that first half when they converted a 3rd and long. But Texas is really strong at the point of attack, especially on defense. They've been playing extremely well up front. We did see Milroe almost throw a touchdown pass, but it was deflected by Ryan Watts as the ball was out there and it was well thrown. But Ryan Watts' length at 6'3" as a cornerback saved a touchdown by the Texas defense. Let's get everyone in here and get your thoughts on what's going on in college football. In addition to this one, we've got Washington State on top of Wisconsin. I believe the score is still 14-3 in Pullman, as close to a touchdown underdog. Earlier in the day, Notre Dame was impressive on offense, scoring 45 points against NC State. Sam Hartman, 4 touchdown passes in that game. I've got my eye on Oregon and Texas Tech. Red Raiders jumped out 7-0. Oregon led this thing 15-13. Looked like Texas Tech was going to take a lead about 15 minutes ago, but Tyler Shook made a bad decision hanging onto the football and coughed it up. But this is a good one. This is going to be a good one, I believe, in the second half, and I anticipated this one. Red Raiders coming off that disappointing loss to Wyoming, but bouncing back here, and Oregon will not score 81 points tonight. Shane Cups here. Bama, oh Bama. Dave, hail to the victors. Yes, Michigan wins 35-7. Did not see any of that. JJ was dynamite. Dave, yes, Kool-Aid McKinstry play at the goal line. He flashed right in front of him at the right time. Texas looks every bit of Bama's equal. I'm surprised, DeReal, by this score right here. I didn't pick this game. It wasn't on my list of predictions, but had I would have missed it. Last score I saw was Cincinnati up on Pitt 17-7. I saw a few plays. I did find the CW. There must be some kind of connection between the CW and ESPN, because if you notice, they're using ESPN's graphics package for this game. But I saw Emory Jones make some nice runs in the open field, and I'm surprised by this one because I had Pitt vying for an ACC championship game. I did not predict them to go to the ACC championship game, but I did predict them to be in the running for one. And DeReal says 27-7 now. And yes, Dave, a bad day for the SEC thus far. We see Bama's down by a touchdown at halftime, but a long way to go there. And Miami, another story on this day, 48-33 over Texas A&M. Tyler Van Dyke looks like the Tyler Van Dyke of 2021. Threw for 235 in the first half, 374, 5 touchdowns. Miami tried to give the game away early, bad special teams mistakes, but man, they outplayed Texas A&M. Outplayed them in a big way. Offensive line protected Tyler Van Dyke. They found some receivers like Jacoby George, who had 3 touchdowns, and Kobe Young, and Xavier Restrepo's always been a really good player out of the slot. Big win for Miami, but that may just be Texas A&M continuing to waste a lot of talent. 48-33, our thoughts and prayers go out to Cam Kinchins, All-America safety, carted off the field in the final 2 minutes of that game. To catch everybody up on what's going on right now, Austin Peay giving Tennessee a little bit of a scare at halftime. Vols lead it now 30-13 in the third quarter. And how about this one? We are in overtime. I've not seen any of this game. North Carolina has scored a touchdown in overtime to lead App State 40-34. So App State has the ball. I should pull this one up here. I should check this one out. North Carolina has scored in overtime. App State has the ball, down 40-34. So App State and North Carolina in another barn burner. I remember seeing the score early in the game and thinking, okay, well, this is a completely different year. They're not going to play that kind of game like they did last year, 63-61. But here we are, lo and behold, in overtime at 40-34. So these two teams should probably just play every year. Oklahoma only leading SMU's 21-11, 7 minutes left in the game. Oregon and Texas Tech have gone to halftime. It's 18-13 Ducks. That's been a really good game. LSU on top of Grambling 28-10 in the second quarter, about 5 minutes left there. Washington State and Wisconsin. Cougars lead 17-6. This could be a big win for the Pac-12. So the two conferences that will dominate college football, most likely, are not dominating college football right now. Florida State has scored on Southern Miss at 7-0. Those are the top 25 games. Let's dig a little deeper than that. Let's go to the FBS scoreboard here. And we see that Purdue led 17-0, tied at 17, and now the Boilers have taken the lead, and there's only a minute left in Blacksburg. Purdue's got the ball, and they're up 24-17. So Big Ten and ACC getting together there. Looks like Purdue's going to hang on and win. They should. They've got a 2nd and 7 at the 45. Miami of Ohio leads UMass 7-0. That game is delayed. A lot of delays all over the place. So early in the day, it was Notre Dame, North Carolina State, and then it was the Purdue, Virginia Tech game. And then the West Virginia game was delayed. It may still be delayed against Duquesne. And now a game in Massachusetts delayed. Oklahoma has just scored to widen the gap against SMU 28-11. Liberty 33, New Mexico State 17. That's in the fourth quarter. And again, this delayed game in Morgantown, West Virginia leads Duquesne 14-10. Georgia Southern 35, UAB 29. They're in the fourth quarter. Ohio leads FAU 14-10. That's in the third. Old Dominion over Louisiana 24-17. That's in the third. Akron trails Morgan State 21-17. Fordham and Buffalo. Buffalo leads 37-33 right now. And yes, Cincinnati up 27-7. 4 minutes left in the third. Surprising. All right. SEC talk in the chat. Dave says Bama needs to block or it won't matter who the quarterback is. True. Although Jalen Milroe lost when it comes to throwing the ball downfield. Much like Jeff Sims was earlier in this day against Colorado. Texas getting pressure with 4 people. Mike says the SEC stinks. So far, yeah. The only win for the SEC against the ACC is Tennessee over Virginia. That almost shouldn't even count. South Carolina's gone down to a North Carolina team that is being taken to overtime by App State. Texas A&M looked pretty bad today. I like Connor Weekman, though. Connor Weekman is a gamer. Baller, stud. Threw his first pick as a collegiate quarterback, and it totally was not his fault. The wide receiver slipped. He threw his first pick in that game. But Texas A&M goes down today. Missouri's in a tussle with somebody. Middle Tennessee? Now I forget. Don't hold me to that. Let's check out the SEC scoreboard because I know Kentucky's right now in a close game. At least they were a few minutes ago against Eastern Kentucky. Come on. Well, my laptop is not helping me right there. Let's try over here. Everything is slow. In the SEC, right now, as we said, Tennessee leads Austin Peay 30-13. We got the Bama-Texas game, of course. Okay, Mizzou and Middle Tennessee. Yeah, it was Middle Tennessee. 8 minutes left in the third. 16-10, Mizzou just scored. Brady Cook just threw a touchdown pass. LSU on top of Grambling 34-10. Okay, Florida leads McNeese State. Woo! 26-zip. Okay. I had a conversation about this last night. Somebody was trying to tell me that Arizona was going to beat Mississippi State. Okay, Bulldogs lead at 14-0. There's about just 20 seconds left in the first half. South Carolina struggling with Furman, 20-14. That game is nearing halftime. Later tonight, Cal and Auburn. That's going to be on while we're taking your calls, so we'll keep an eye on that. Georgia over Ball State 45-3. Ole Miss, this Ole Miss Tulane game. Had the ball inside the 10 with their backup quarterback ready to take the lead, and Ole Miss scored a bunch of garbage. I don't even know what happened right at the end of that game to make it 37-20 because it was 24-20, and Tulane was about to score the game-winning touchdown or the lead touchdown really late in the game. Ole Miss held. They kicked a field goal. Tulane did to make it 27-20. Then Then the next thing I know, Ole Miss is kicking a field goal with about a minute left to make it 30-20. Then they obviously got a pick six or something there at the end. Wake beat Vandy 36-20. And an ugly win by Kentucky over Eastern Kentucky, 28-17. Arkansas beat Kent 28-6. The SEC not impressive today. Nobody impressive from the SEC as it stands right now. 0-1, 0-2, 0-2 right now against the Power Five. We'll see about Texas, Bama, Cal, Auburn, and Mississippi State, Arizona. So maybe I'll get my wish this year and we'll be able to argue best conference. Midwest Picker, I know that Ole Miss, I can do the math. I thank you for that. I know that they outscored them 27-3. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. But yeah, that was a misleading score because Tulane took it down the field. They were at the 5-yard line, ready to take a 27-24 lead. DeReal, we went through the Mississippi State game. Yes, 14-0. It's almost half. But yeah. Bama fans here, appreciate you being here. We'll get you all set for the second half here. I don't have a screen open to let me know when the second half starts. I will rely on all of you to let me know when we start again. Dave, yes. Jeff Sims. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. I posted a video after that game. Here was my thought. Jeff Sims was awful. It took a football genius to figure that out. Yes, Jeff Sims was awful. In addition, they've started the second half. In addition to not being able to throw the ball to the right guys, can't catch a snap, calls for the snap at the wrong time. It hits the man in motion, just misplay after misplay after misplay. So I got to think that they've got no confidence. Matt Rule has no confidence in Heinrich Harburg or Chubba Purdy, the two backups. And I suggested that basically Nebraska comes out in the second half and just does nothing but run the ball, run Jeff Sims. He ran 19 times against Minnesota, and he did not run in the first half against Colorado. Run Jeff Sims, make him a runner because that's what he does well. And then every pass needs to be a predetermined delayed screen, dump off pass where he doesn't have to think and go through progressions and process anything and read defenses. None of that. That's how they have to run their offense the rest of the year if they determine they cannot go to their backup. All right. Bama's got the ball at their own 31 on a 3rd and 4. Let's see if they keep this first drive alive. They've tossed it downfield, and that's a nice throw and catch. So that wasn't the most beautiful throw in the world, but he played it safe, and that was the smart thing to do. Because who was that? Isaiah Bond was clearly open, and he had space to be able to just kind of lay it in there. So well done by Bama. They're down by a touchdown, and they're on the move at the Texas 35. See you after the ball game, everyone. Give me a call. We'll be on after all the big ball games tonight, and we'll review the day together. Hear the voice of college football.